The 2024 52 Super Series season opens early. In fact, it's only late April when the 10-boat fleet from 7 different nations musters back in the Bay of Palma at the 52 Super Series Palma Vela Sailing Week, all part of the annual curtain up for the mid-racing season. Well, Palma early season, anything can happen weather-wise. We've never sailed this early in the season before. Nonetheless, it's great to be hosted by the Real Club Náutico de Palma, one of the world's most renowned yacht clubs, where Spain's royal families sail from.
Well, this year is a very special occasion, very challenging occasion, and we are very happy to have the TPs amongst the offshore and the Palma Vela.
It's the first event of 5, and it's so early season because the fleet are shipped to Newport, Rhode Island for 2 regattas there for the very first time, and then returning to Mallorca and a big finale in Valencia in September. All eyes are on 2 new boats. The 2023 champions, Harmuller Speer, has a new Platoon Aviation, a sister ship to Andy Soriano's new Allegre.
We are pretty much excited to get the new boat, but I mean, it's a long way to go because the boat is totally different in the whole concept. It's sailing differently, and you have to learn a lot. How could you improve to get up to speed?
You know, after many years all together, same team, such a change like a new boat is something that brings a new positive spirit.
It's difficult. Not easy. Everyone's working as a team, but it's not easy.
As well as the new boats, there's no shortage of new young talent, young faces in Palma. Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, have again 4 new young sailors in their lineup, all part of their American Magic Talent Feeder Initiative.
We have a core group of Quantum Racing of highly skilled and determined sailors, but also a new group of young, highly motivated sailors, and I think it's going to be really interesting how we come together as a team and how we learn from the experienced sailors, but also from each other.
Allegre bring in Spain's past 470 world champion, 2020 Olympian Silvia Mas.
Well, I'm in the mid-bow, so I help Mateo with the spinnaker and then managing that everything is clean for the hoist and everything. And well, I'm super happy with a very good team.
And young Nopakau Punpat, the past Opti world champion, is steering Vayu for the first time.
Very interesting and very challenging. They are very good, everyone, very competitive.
And there are some not quite so young faces. France's best known, most decorated racing legend, Loic Perron, has been recruited to Paprec.
I'm not the rookie of the year, but I'm very excited to be in a team like that. I'm watching them since many years.
Among the other changes, Tony Langley's team have a new Gladiator in the former Allegre.
So far we are enjoying the boat, we are still learning about her, but this boat has a different keel and we feel that we are able to hold lanes better. And still we are finding we are very quick downwind, so we think we are more competitive this year speed-wise.
Vayu's Whitcraft family are proud hosts of the owner's dinner, an authentic taste of Thailand in the heart of Palma. At every regatta, Vayu host visits from young local sailors to the race boat, perhaps inspiring them, maybe even the future stars of the 52 Super Series in 2040. And sustainability, as ever, is very near the top of our agenda.
Here in Palma, you know, every single day we are doing something different. Another really impressive stuff what we did, there was the underwater cleanup. But what we found yesterday, that was really like, oof. When we're saying, okay, we have to have a deep dive into sustainability, I think, you know, the images we saw yesterday, there was really a deep dive into a ship. Then the other thing is, the cooperation which is still going on with Yachting Gives Back, the redistribution of food after racing. And that's really impactful because most of the people they don't think about, they think hunger is maybe a problem of Africa, but sometimes the hunger problem is so close to you, and that's really important, to do something and to start action.
Palma delivers a real variety of weather like we've never seen before. No wind to too much wind, nothing to over 30 knots, and in 13 years we've never had a season start so badly affected by weather, with only 3 racing days. Racing their last regatta with their current boat and a new boat in build, it's a dream popular finale as Turkey's Preveza lift the first title of 2024. With the big win under pressure on the last race, Ergen Imri's team lay to rest the ghosts of past disappointments in Palma, not least being pipped to the post for last year's title.
Honoring end for the boat. It's going to the new owner now, and we are extremely happy. It was a regatta with ups and downs, but I think we had the least downs. So that's made the difference in the end. And to win the last race was just a miracle, and dream come true. It was very nice. And it is a late excuse of the odds for last year maybe.
It was a great way to finish our last race on the P10. Done a few years and a few miles on the boat, and it was nice to finish our last race and win it. And then the way the points worked out, we won the regatta as well. So we've got good memories now of this boat.
It's a hugely intense, close regatta pivoting round 2 big 3-race days. Palma dealing out some of the best conditions, winds over 20 knots, bright sunshine and waves. The windward mark roundings are often spectacular. Preveza hooked the windward mark in the first day. Quantum Racing have to peel away at one windward mark and lose places. On the brand new Alegre, Andy Soriano's team lead into the final day, but they falter with a pair of 9ths. Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, come close to winning the regatta, but they finish second, whilst Interlodge take third.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing. We're being so close to taking the event victory, but it's a really positive sign for us. We've made a lot of improvement from the 2 weeks we've sailed together, and we've got some new young sailors on the boat, so things are looking positive for us, and we're looking forward to Newport.
It was exciting stuff. Everyone was tight at the top, and just every man for themselves out there in that final race. Congrats to the Preveza team. They just went on sailed a phenomenal day in those conditions across the fleet, and well-deserved win for them. We had a great time out there, and it was great to sail the boat uprange.
So the final standings after 7 races, the winners are Preveza on 25 points, second Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 27, and third Interlodge 32. So now the 52 Super Series heads to Newport, Rhode Island for the very first time. We've got 2 regattas back to back. Join us live every day.
Gracias, Palma. See you in Newport.
Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind, this my prime. Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind, and this my prime.
For the first time ever in its 13-year successful history, the 52 Super Series hits Newport, Rhode Island. Newport is steeped in sailing history. It's known 50 years of America's Cup racing on these waters, from the J-Class in 1930 to 37 and the 12 metres from 58 to 83. It remains a veritable mecca for sailing.
It's fantastic to get this fleet here on the famous waters of the America's Cup. Just great to showcase the greatest monohull fleet in the world here in Newport.
It's amazing. I mean, this is the epicenter of sailing in North America.
The XS 52 Super Series Newport Trophy Regatta is hosted by the New York Yacht Club from their magnificent Harbour Court. 3 different teams represent the New York Yacht Club. Takashi Akura's Sled, the 2021 champions. Of course, there's Doug DeVos's 5 times champions, Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic. And then there's Austin and Gwen Fragament's Interlodge programme. They're long-time club members. Austin is actually a trustee of the club, and they run their Interlodge programme out of Newport.
Wonderful occasion, and it's something that I've looked forward to for a number of years. Even when the fleet came to Florida, I said, we really should be in Newport. So we're really delighted to have everybody here.
As ever, sustainability is high on the agenda. There are many different initiatives running over the course of the event.
We're happy to partner with the 52 Super Series to be able to support this. So what we're trying to do is pick up any pollution we find in and around here, especially around the moorings.
Right now we're doing a beach cleanup in Jamestown, Rhode Island with a 52 Super Series. And we're picking up trash here along this beautiful coastline.
Dig out plastic!
The 52 Super Series fleet is all part of the club's annual regatta. During the week, there's a chance for some of the 52s to take part in the Around the Island race. The whole setup is perfect for VIP guest programmes, and over the course of the regatta we host various different groups from Excess Energy, one of our principal partners. There's a 13th man experience on board some of the TP52s. There's the chance to go racing on the 12 metres, and we're hosted by our local sponsor, Palm Beach Motor Yachts.
Yeah, it's by far the premium fleet in the world in my view, so it's been great. We've had a lot of sponsors on board, a lot of supporters, and they've really enjoyed it.
The second regatta of the 5-event 2024 season is the XS 52 Super Series Newport Trophy. The winners of the final regatta of 2023, Hasso and Tina Platner's South African flagged Phoenix, return back to the circuit after missing out the first regatta in Palma.
It's really cool to be back. It's really nice to not be in pain. It's awesome to do it together. Thanks to all the great teamwork and everyone knowing what they're doing. It's really easy to just get on the boat.
It's great. It's was great and it's still great.
On the race courses, the competition starts off relatively gently and light breezes, but Newport then delivers over the next couple of days with really good sea breezes up to 16-17 knots at times. It's fantastic competition, exactly what the 52 Super Series came to Newport for. Initially, it's Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, that are dominant. They win 3 races from 4, but Vayu mark themselves out as podium contenders, with Manu Weiler calling tactics.
Yeah, it's my second time with them. I've been in Scarlino last year, and it's going really well this week, and we're very happy with what we're doing. I love the class, and I think it's great racing, probably the best I've been doing.
It's exciting to see the development of the younger generation of sailors. It's starting out with a 1-1. 4-1, we always know it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
The third day of racing was a little bit of a reality check for the regatta leaders, who end up with an 8th place. They're pinched off the start line by Platoon, forced to the right side of the course, and that 8th place is their biggest score of the regatta so far. Meantime, Vayu win that race, keep themselves in contention for the regatta. Platoon get 3rd place in that race, starting to look like regatta contenders, but it's a disaster in the next race when they hit an object.
We have a new boat, we are learning. Today was a good day for us. We could be on the podium 3rd. So maybe both of the day, and suddenly we come back with this kind of result, so not very nice.
The rudder is very badly damaged. They have to lift the boat out, and a race against time starts.
We got a rudder from Gladiator, we got new bearings from Sled, and managed to work them in to fit. So it's a wonderful family. When things get tough, other people help.
Platoon are repaired and back ready to go racing on the Saturday, but it proves to be a long day on the water, waiting for the breeze to come in. In the end, there's no racing. And so Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, lead into the final day. Vayu chasing hard.
Getting the boat set up for the conditions, and we're ready to go as soon as they put up the flags.
Our mood's good. Everyone's pretty happy. We're all sort of keen just to go out and race. We're loving Newport so far.
So dramatic final day. Off the start line of race 7, Quantum are actually over the line, have to recross and end up going up the first beat in 10th. Meantime, Platoon lead all the way around the course with Gladiator in 2nd. Vayu at this point are leading the regatta. Through the finish line they get 5th place. Quantum Racing are down in 9th. And going into the final race then, Vayu lead by a single point over Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic. So race 8, much the same kind of breeze for the final showdown of the regatta. Gladiator and Allegri get away nicely out on the right side. Vayu are in about 6th in the early part. Quantum Racing are deep once again, but at the leeward gate, Vayu are slow. Quantum Racing escape a little bit. Round the top mark, Quantum Racing are back as regatta leaders, but at the finish line it's incredibly close. Vayu just pip Platoon on the finish line to get 8th place, with Quantum Racing back in 10th. Their regatta title is Vayu's.
Well, I mean, it just absolutely blows us away. Totally amazed. I got to say, we didn't expect to be first today. It's just fantastic. It shows hard work, never give up, always works and always pays off.
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, can't get any better than this. The finish was so exciting and so until the last meter that we're super excited with this, super happy.
So the final standings for the XS52 Super Series Newport Rhode Island Trophy, it's Vayu winning on 33 points, second are Gladiator on 35 points, and third Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 36.
We only missed the regatta win by 2 points, so that's all good. We had a very good last day, we had a good result on the week, and we are in a good position overall, so obviously we are satisfied and happy.
It was a very tough day for us. Going to revise the mistakes that we made and the weaknesses and try to come back stronger.
And the 2024 circuit standings after Palma and Newport. Leaders are Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 63 points, second Gladiator on 72, and Sled on 75 points are third. So that's it from the XS52 Super Series Newport Rhode Island Trophy. Join us again in July back here in Newport for the Rolex TP52 World Championship. The 2024 Rolex TP52 World Championship saw 10 top-level, evenly matched TP52 teams muster in Newport, Rhode Island. It's the third regatta of the 52 Super Series 2024 season and comes hard on the heels of the XS52 Super Series Newport Trophy Regatta, but this is the World Championship and everyone wants to win. And following the recent victory of Thailand's underdogs Vayu, the feeling more than ever is that any team, any one of the 10 could win. The defending champions are Germany's Platoon Aviation, but they have opened their season with a brand new boat with 2 disappointing 7th places so far. But their hopes are rising.
We won 3 World Championships in this class, and for me as an amateur driver, it's quite a big achievement. We made some adjustments and some changes in the boat, and we're looking forward to the week.
Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, may have struggled to close out regatta wins this season so far, but they're 7 times world champions, as Greg Gundell has been with them every time.
Yeah, 752 Worlds, so something I'm proud of. The first one in Lanzarote was obviously a big one with Terry, and then each one was special. The one in 2022 with Doug was really good, so each one's a little bit special.
But so too Sled are the past Rolex TP52 World Champions from 2021.
We know what this fleet's like, and it is incredibly easy in this fleet to be 8th, 9th, 10th after a poor start and 2 wrong shifts. And we'll just see how we go.
Everyone is excited about being back in Newport with such a popular and historic sailing centre and hosted by the beautiful Newyork Yacht Club out of Harbour Court. And the town itself is excited and knowledgeable.
Phenomenal. I mean, Newport's putting on a great show, beautiful part of the world. It just highlights why Newport's been so popular over the decades of sailing through all the history of the America's capital now.
The Rolex TP52 World Championship and Newport itself and the waters off Newport are a great venue for VIP guests from XS, and they enjoy sailing on the 12 metres. And in the evening, Rolex take the chance to host the teams at beautiful Harbour Court, the Newport residence for the Newyork Yacht Club. All the time we're looking for more sustainable solutions both on land and on the water. We're using mark set bots now, which are robotic marks, which means we don't have to use anchors on the seabed, nor do we have to use as many ribs. And on land we're using blue water filtration systems to provide drinking water to keep the teams hydrated. Team Vayu arrived buoyed up by the recent dream win, but in the full realisation they have no expectation that they simply will carry on from where they left off. But nonetheless, they've clearly made big improvements.
You know, it's always high pressure. It doesn't matter whether they've won or lost. I kind of rolled in really excited to see if there were any dynamic changes, and I think that probably the key change is anything's possible.
But in fact, on day one, Vayu do carry on from where they left off. They win the first race, they work the left side again, and 12 to 14 knots of breeze, they take first blood. But it's the 2021 champions Sled who are most consistent on day one, taking 2 second places, and they lead after day one. The second day, the breeze is lighter, and Tony Langley's team throw down the gauntlet with 2 race wins back to back. Gladiator go 3 in a row and lead the World Championship. Thursday requires patience as the breeze only comes in late afternoon, and it's a race win for 2023 World Champions Platoon Aviation. Takashi Akura's Sled then strengthened their challenge on the next day, keeping all the pressure on Gladiator, winning the first race of the day and then taking a second as Tina Plattner's Phoenix win the second race. So Gladiator lead into the last day of the championship. It's all new territory for the British team with only a single point in hand, and there's no room for errors.
We are excited because it's last day of the World Championship, being in a good position, but we have not to be too much excited. To go there and sail well.
I'll just go out and do the same as every day. Just keep the same routine, the same process. What'll be will be.
There's up 30 points up for grabs potentially, so there can be some big movers and some big losers.
So Gladiator go into the final day with a lead of 1 point, but in the first race they get a second place, finishing just behind Alpha Plus, who win their first race of the regatta. Second race is Quantum Racing powered by American Magic coming through the finish line, but Gladiator just behind give them a 7-point lead going into the final race of the World Championship. And the final race is another win, in fact, for Alpha Plus, for the team from Hong Kong. But Gladiator come through in 10th, chasing Sled across the line. That's all they need to do. The Rolex TP52 World Championship title goes to Gladiator.
We've come a long way in the last 2 seasons, the last 1.5 seasons. Yeah, but before that it was a long, long road. It makes it all worthwhile, yeah. Particularly sweet is a World Championship win, and right here in Newport as well.
It means a lot to us because it's the first one with this team. It's the first event win for the team also, so it was very nice to pick it up at the right time with the World Championship title.
So after all 10 races are sailed at the Rolex TP52 World Championship here in Newport, top of the table, the world champions are Gladiator on 40 points, second are Sled on 46 points, and third, Platoon Aviation on 48 points.
Amazing World Championship, certainly one of the best 52 worlds I've ever sailed. Really, really proud of the Sled team and what we've achieved. And congratulations to Gladiator, who just sailed a superb regatta.
We still don't sail a perfect day. It's always one good, one bad, one good, one bad. Still learning the boat a little bit, but I think we're going in the right direction.
So after the Rolex TP52 World Championship, after 3 regattas this season, Gladiator lead on 112 points, second Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 115, and third Sled on 121. Well, that's it from the USA, wonderful Rhode Island, and then specifically Newport. We've had 2 great regattas here in June, and also now the Rolex TP52 World Championship, a full 10-race programme, a new world champion in Tony Langley's Gladiator. Now back to Europe, back to the Mediterranean. We'll see you in Puerto Portals next month. For the penultimate regatta of this season, we're here in Puerto Portals on the Sunshine Island of Mallorca once again, a venue, the ultimate lifestyle destination that really does feel like a home from home. We have 13 teams racing from 9 different nations. That means 2 new teams, Teasing Machine from France and Criolla from Brazil, and we have a brand new boat in the new Provezza.
We know where we are. We know we are starting in a very high-level series.
This fleet is very tight, boat to boat, bow to bow.
So far, seems like we're going okay, and we're trying to make it reliable, understanding, what strings to pull and when.
So great sea breeze conditions for race 1. The wind angle is 185, the beat is 1.7 nautical miles. Off the start line is Quantum Racing powered by American Magic, who get the best start, get out with an early lead. But out on the right, well, actually, Criolla team are going well, the Brazilian debutants. So too Gladiator get out to the right. But it's Platoon Aviation round the first mark in the lead. Criolla second, Gladiator third, and Quantum Racing powered by American Magic very much in the mix as they go round the top mark. Through the finish line, it's a race win for Platoon Aviation. The Brazilian debutants Criolla team gets second and third Gladiator. Conditions much the same for the second race of the day, about 8-9 knots on the start line. Great start from Gladiator off the pin end of the line, really good time and distance, and then they get out across the fleet, lead round the top mark with Platoon Aviation in second, Interlodge in third, and that is the order all the way through. Gladiator get ahead, let Platoon off the hook slightly, Platoon get back to them, but at the finish line of race 2 it's a win for Gladiator, second Platoon Aviation, best boat of the day with a 1 and a 2, Interlodge through in third.
Yeah, it looks like we are learning where the back and the front of the boat is, but still you have to see that the boat concept of the boating boat is so different to the Frolic boat, but right now we are getting closer and get used to it a little bit.
We are sailing better. The boat obviously is a new machine that you need to understand. The volume of this boat are different than the others, so we need to know how to trim the boat in the water, and I think that now we are getting closer.
Very happy with the first day. We have a very good first race. We got second place, so we can't complain.
So after 2 races, Platoon Aviation lead on 3 points, second are Gladiator on 4, and third are Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 10 points. So 2 good races in sea breezes here in Puerto Portals. Join us again tomorrow. Welcome back to Puerto Portals, Mallorca. It's the second of the Puerto Portals 52 Super Series sailing week.
It's amazing to have 13 boats this year here. It's our record. We've never had so many, so it's wonderful to see it. It brings attention up, and I think that's wonderful to have.
On the top of the table, it is the 2023 champions, Platoon. They're back in business. So race number 3 starts about 11 knots of breeze at 180 degrees. A good first beat from Phoenix, get off the line nicely and straight into phase with the shifts. Criolla 2 get to the right of them, and round the top mark is Phoenix leading with Criolla second, Patrick in third. Phoenix extend all the way through the race, a comfortable lead through the finish line. Through in second place are Patrick. Criolla are on course for third, but they foul Quantum Racing on the finish line, so Quantum get third. Criolla drop to 13th, unfortunately, and in fourth place, Platoon Aviation. So second race of the day, race 4 off the series, 165 degrees is the wind angle. The breeze is probably 13 knots off the start line. This time the best start is that of Preveza. Lead up the first beat in the middle of the course with Criolla second. Round the top mark, Platoon in third place. That's the order all the way around the course. Platoon get it up and through Preveza on the second upwind. Down the final run, well, there's a big shift in the breeze. The teams have to take down their kites, but Platoon come through to win the race. In second place are Preveza, in third Interlodge, and a good fourth place for Patrick, completing their best day for many years.
We are very happy with the boat and the crew. I mean, we have been able to get together after what happened to the team. And also, Loic is taking us on the right side all the time, so it's good.
Definitely, we're getting some momentum finally. It took 3 events and then a little bit of everything, working on a little bit of luck on the race course. So hopefully we can carry on like this and fight for something at the end.
After the second day of the Puerto Portals 52 Super Series sailing week, the leaders are Platoon Aviation on 8 points, Gladiator now second on 19 points, Patrick third after their best day yet, 2 and a 4 today. They get some on 20 points, they lie third. So the Bay of Palma delivering another 2 good races, a little bit of delay to start with, but Platoon at the top of the table and moving clear as we go into the midpoint of the regatta tomorrow. Join us then. Hot sunny morning here in Mallorca, the Puerto Portals 52 Super Series sailing week, reaching day number 3, Platoon on top. Last night, a bit of a party here. One of the great things about Puerto Portals, it's such a lifestyle destination. All the sailors love coming here. So let's go on the water. Let's see whose powers of recovery after the party are the best. So race number 5, the midpoint of the regatta. The breeze is 13-14 knots on the start line. The wind axis is 180 degrees. Gladiator start once again in the left of the group, off the pin end of the line, and they take the advantage when they cross the fleet about halfway up the beat. Top mark, Gladiator lead. Second round, Platoon. Third round, Quantum Racing. Some penalties at the back of the fleet. Busy mark rounding. But at the leeward gate, will Gladiator extending, Quantum Racing come round the left mark. Platoon go to the right mark and seem to lose a little bit. Through the finish line, it's a win for Gladiator. Second, Quantum Racing. Third, Platoon.
2 days of racing, everything can happen. You know, here you do 10 points in few errors. It goes to 2 errors and you go 10 points. So everything can happen.
Yeah, so we just had the one race today, finished second, and most of it was just working to the left-hand side of the race course. It was dominant all day. So yeah, simple. It was ended up maybe 2-3 tacks the whole race.
So and then just the one race today, Gladiator winning. Standings then after today's race, Platoon leading on 11 points. Second is Gladiator on 20, and third, Quantum Racing Power of American Magic on 27 points. So that's it for day 3 here at the Puerto Portals 52 Super Series Sailing Week. Gladiator pulling back, keeping the pressure on Platoon at the top of the table. Join us again. The 2024 52 Super Series season opens early. In fact, it's only late April when the 10-boat fleet from 7 different nations musters back in the Bay of Palma at the 52 Super Series Palma Vela Sailing Week, all part of the annual curtain up for the mid-racing season. Well, Palma, early season, anything can happen weather-wise. We've never sailed this early in the season before. Nonetheless, it's great to be hosted by the Real Club Náutico de Palma, one of the world's most renowned yacht clubs, where Spain's royal families sail from.
Well, this year is a very special occasion, very challenging occasion, and we are very happy to have the TPs amongst the offshore and the Palma Vela.
It's the first event of 5, and it's so early season because the fleet are shipped to Newport, Rhode Island for 2 regattas there for the very first time, and then returning to Mallorca and a big finale in Valencia in September. All eyes are on 2 new boats. The 2023 champions, Harmuller Spear, has a new Platoon Aviation, a sister ship to Andy Soriano's new Allegre.
We are pretty much excited to get the new boat, but I mean, it's a long way to go because the boat is totally different in the whole concept. It's sailing differently, and you have to learn a lot. How could you improve to get up to speed?
You know, after many years all together, same team, such a change like a new boat is something that brings a new positive spirit.
It's difficult. Not easy. Everyone's working as a team, but it's not easy.
As well as the new boats, there's no shortage of new young talent, young faces in Palma. Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, have again 4 new young sailors in their lineup, all part of their American Magic Talent Feeder Initiative.
We have a core group of Quantum Racing of highly skilled and determined sailors, but also a new group of young, highly motivated sailors, and I think it's going to be really interesting how we come together as a team and how we learn from the experienced sailors, but also from each other.
Allegre bring in Spain's past 470 world champion, 2020 Olympian Silvia Mas.
Well, I'm in the mid-bow, so I help Mateo with the spinnaker and then managing that everything is clean for the hoist and everything. And well, I'm super happy with a very good team.
And young Nopakau Punpat, the past Opti World Champion, is steering Vayu for the first time.
Very interesting and very challenging. They are very good, everyone very competitive.
And there are some not quite so young faces. France's best known, most decorated racing legend, Loic Perron, has been recruited to Paprec.
I'm not the rookie of the year, but I'm very excited to be in a team like that. I'm watching them since many years.
Among the other changes, Tony Langley's team have a new Gladiator and the former Allegra.
So far we are enjoying the boat. We are still learning about her, but this boat has a different keel and we feel that we are able to hold lanes better. And still we are finding we are very quick downwind, so we think we are more competitive this year speed-wise.
Value's Whitcraft family are proud hosts of the owner's dinner, an authentic taste of Thailand in the heart of Palma. At every regatta, Value hosts visits from young local sailors to the race boat, perhaps inspiring them, maybe even the future stars of the 52 Super Series in 2040. And sustainability, as ever, is very near the top of our agenda.
Here in Palma, every single day we are doing something different. Another really impressive stuff what we did, there was the underwater cleanup. But what we found yesterday, that was really like, oof. When we're saying, okay, we have to have a deep dive into sustainability, I think, the images we saw yesterday, that was really a deep dive into shit. Then the other thing is, the cooperation which is still going on with Yachting Gives Back, the redistribution of food after racing. And that's really impactful because most of the people they don't think about, they think hunger is maybe a problem of Africa, but sometimes the hunger problem is so close to you and that's really important, to do something and to start action.
Palma delivers a real variety of weather like we've never seen before. No wind to too much wind, nothing to over 30 knots, and in 13 years we've never had a season start so badly affected by weather with only 3 racing days. Racing their last regatta with their current boat and a new boat in build, it's a dream popular finale as Turkey's Provetsa lift the first title of 2024. With the big win under pressure on the last race, Ergen Imri's team lay to rest the ghosts of past disappointments in Palma, not least being pipped to the post for last year's title.
Honoring end for the boat. It's going to the new owner now, and we are extremely happy. It was a regatta with ups and downs, but I think we had the least downs. So that's made the difference in the end. And to win the last race was just a miracle and dream come true. It was very nice. And it is a late excuse of the odds for last year maybe.
It was a great way to finish our last race on the P10. Done a few years and a few miles on the boat, and it was nice to finish our last race and win it. And then the way the points worked out, we won the regatta as well. So we've got good memories now of this boat.
It's a hugely intense, close regatta pivoting round 2 big 3-race days. Palma dealing out some of the best conditions, winds over 20 knots, bright sunshine and waves. The windward mark roundings are often spectacular. Provetsa hooked the windward mark in the first day. Quantum Racing have to peel away at one windward mark and lose places. On the brand new Allegra, Andy Soriano's team lead into the final day, but they falter with a pair of 9ths. Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, come close to winning the regatta, but they finish second, whilst Interlodge take third.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing. We're being so close to taking the event victory, but it's a really positive sign for us. We've made a lot of improvement from the 2 weeks we've sailed together, and we've got some new young sailors on the boat, so things are looking positive for us, and we're looking forward to Newport.
It was exciting stuff. Everyone was tight at the top, and just every man for themselves out there in that final race. Congrats to the Provetsa team. They just went on sailed a phenomenal day in those conditions across the fleet, and well-deserved win for them. We had a great time out there, and it was great to sail the boat uprange.
So the final standings after 7 races, the winners are Provetsa on 25 points, second Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 27, and third Interlodge 32. So now the 52 Super Series heads to Newport, Rhode Island for the very first time. We've got 2 regattas back to back. Join us live every day.
Gracias, Palma. See you in Newport.
Let me tell them one time, I've been on the grind, this my prime. Let me tell them one time, I've been on the grind, and this my prime.
For the first time ever in its 13-year successful history, the 52 Super Series hits Newport, Rhode Island. Newport is steeped in sailing history. It's known 50 years of America's Cup racing on these waters, from the J-Class in 1930 to 37 and the 12 metres from 58 to 83. It remains a veritable mecca for sailing.
It's fantastic to get this fleet here in the famous waters of the America's Cup. Just great to showcase the greatest monohull fleet in the world here in Newport.
It's amazing. I mean, this is the epicenter of sailing in North America.
The XS 52 Super Series Newport Trophy Regatta is hosted by the New York Yacht Club from their magnificent Harbour Court. 3 different teams represent the New York Yacht Club. Takashi Akura's sled, the 2021 champions. Of course, there's Doug DeVos's 5 times champions, Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic. And then there's Austin and Gwen Fragament's Interlodge programme. They're long-time club members. Austin is actually a trustee of the club, and they run their Interlodge programme out of Newport.
Wonderful occasion, and it's something that I've looked forward to for a number of years. Even when the fleet came to Florida, I said we really should be in Newport. So we're really delighted to have everybody here.
As ever, sustainability is high on the agenda. There are many different initiatives running over the course of the event.
We're happy to partner with the 52 Super Series to be able to support this. So what we're trying to do is pick up any pollution we find in and around here, especially around the moorings.
Right now we're doing a beach cleanup in Jamestown, Rhode Island with a 52 Super Series. And we're picking up trash here along this beautiful coastline.
Take out plastic!
The 52 Super Series fleet is all part of the club's annual regatta. During the week, there's a chance for some of the 52s to take part in the Around the Island race. The whole setup is perfect for VIP guest programmes, and over the course of the regatta we host various different groups from XS Energy, one of our principal partners. There's a 13th man experience on board some of the TP52s. There's the chance to go racing on the 12 metres, and we're hosted by our local sponsor, Palm Beach Motor Yachts.
Yeah, it's by far the premium fleet in the world in my view, so it's been great. We've had a lot of sponsors on board, a lot of supporters, and they've really enjoyed it.
The second regatta of the 5-event 2024 season is the XS 52 Super Series Newport Trophy. The winners of the final regatta of 2023, Hasso and Tina Platner's South African flagged Phoenix, return back to the circuit after missing out the first regatta in Palma.
It's really cool to be back. It's really nice to not be in pain. It's awesome to do it together. Thanks to all the great teamwork and everyone knowing what they're doing. It's really easy to just get on the boat.
It's great. It's was great and it's still great.
On the race courses, the competition starts off relatively gently and light breezes, but Newport then delivers over the next couple of days with really good sea breezes up to 16-17 knots at times. It's fantastic competition, exactly what the 52 Super Series came to Newport for. Initially, it's Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, that are dominant. They win 3 races from 4, but Vayu mark themselves out as podium contenders, with Manu Weiler calling tactics.
Yeah, it's my second time with them. I've been in Scarlino last year, and it's going really well this week, and we're very happy with what we're doing. I love the class, and I think it's great racing, probably the best I've been doing.
It's exciting to see the development of the younger generation of sailors. It's starting out with a 1-1. 4-1, we always know it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
The third day of racing was a little bit of a reality check for the regatta leaders, who end up with an 8th place. They're pinched off the start line by Platoon, forced to the right side of the course, and that 8th place is their biggest score of the regatta so far. Meantime, Vayu win that race, keep themselves in contention for the regatta. Platoon get 3rd place in that race, starting to look like regatta contenders, but it's a disaster in the next race when they hit an object.
We have a new boat, we are learning. Today was a good day for us. We could be on the podium 3rd. So maybe boat of the day, and suddenly we come back with this kind of result, so not very nice.
The rudder is very badly damaged. They have to lift the boat out, and a race against time starts.
We got a rudder from Gladiator, we got new bearings from Sled, and managed to work them in to fit. So it's a wonderful family. When things get tough, other people help.
Platoon are repaired and back ready to go racing on the Saturday, but it proves to be a long day on the water, waiting for the breeze to come in. In the end, there's no racing, and so Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, lead into the final day. Vayu chasing hard.
Getting the boat set up for the conditions, and we're ready to go as soon as they put up the flags.
Our mood's good. Everyone's pretty happy. We're all sort of keen just to go out and race. We're loving Newport so far.
So dramatic final day. Off the start line of race 7, Quantum are actually over the line, have to recross and end up going up the first beat in 10th. Meantime, Platoon lead all the way around the course with Gladiator in second. Value at this point are leading the regatta. Through the finish line they get 5th place. Quantum Racing are down in 9th. And going into the final race then, Value lead by a single point over Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic. So race 8, much the same kind of breeze for the final showdown of the regatta. Gladiator and Allegri get away nicely out on the right side. Value are in about 6th in the early part. Quantum Racing are deep once again, but at the leeward gate, Value are slow. Quantum Racing escape a little bit. Round the top mark, Quantum Racing are back as regatta leaders, but at the finish line it's incredibly close. Value just pip Platoon on the finish line to get 8th place, with Quantum Racing back in 10th. The regatta title is Value's.
Well, I mean, it just absolutely blows us away. Totally amazed. I got to say, we didn't expect to be first today. It's just fantastic. It shows hard work, never give up, always works and always pays off.
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, can't get any better than this. The finish was so exciting and so until the last meter that we're super excited with this, super happy.
So the final standings for the XS52 Super Series Newport Rhode Island Trophy, it's Value winning on 33 points, second are Gladiator on 35 points, and third Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 36.
We only missed the regatta win by 2 points, that's all good. We had a very good last day, we had a good result on the week, and we are in a good position overall, so obviously we are satisfied and happy.
It was a very tough day for us. Going to revise the mistakes that we made and the weaknesses and try to come back stronger.
And the 2024 circuit standings after Palma and Newport. Leaders are Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 63 points, second Gladiator on 72, and Sled on 75 points are third. So that's it from the XS52 Super Series Newport Rhode Island Trophy. Join us again in July back here in Newport for the Rolex TP52 World Championship.
Yo, yo, yo!
A big finale promised today here in Puerto Portal's 52 Super Series Sailing Week. The last day, everything on the line with Gladiator and Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, chasing down Platoon Aviation. Platoon Aviation, the German flag team, are 3 points ahead. A complicated forecast, could be very difficult, going to be maximum concentration. Who's going to finish top of the table today? Meantime, we talked with Bruno Zarilli from Gladiator. So Bruno, how do you feel going into this last day? You guys have done well in the last days so far this season.
Yeah, the final day is just another day of sailing. You know, you have to go there, be prepared, sail as best as you can. We all know this. We are pretty good in the table, so we have to try to do as less mistakes as possible. We did a lot of mistakes during this regatta, but everybody did a lot of mistakes, and the group is bigger now, so more boat, more situation is little tighter, and the forecast today is tricky, so very light wind, and it's difficult to catch the right side on the paper at least. Now we see when we are outside, and last day, but normal day.
Confidence is important. You guys are pretty confident at the moment.
Confidence is being confident on what you are doing and on your boat speed, obviously, and try to have your all your homework ticked off and be prepared at the starting line.
Did you always do your homework at school?
Yeah, I have a lot of homework to do every day, even after the racing, and it's the only way to have a chance to be prepared the day after to do your job.
And were you good when you were young at school? Did you always do your homework?
Yeah, school I was pretty good, yes, not bad.
Not top of the class, but not bottom?
Yeah, exactly. No, I was in the top quarter, I can say.
Good, well, have a good day, Bruno. Just a little bit more detail on the weather then. What's going to happen today?
Yeah, today I think it's going to be different from previous days because the sun is not on, it's not so much heating. The gradient wind is the same, but the forecast says it should be more right to come. But maybe that happens late in the day, because early in the day when we should start sailing at around 1 o'clock can be still on the left. So far for me is the trickiest day forecast wise.
You like it tricky, you like it difficult?
Not when it's too much. The worst thing is uncertainty. You know, when you don't know what's going on is the worst thing. But I think it's going to be a late decision at the starting line, and hopefully the good one.
It's a day for the navigators.
Sorry?
It's a day for navigators, is it?
No, I would not say it's a day for the navigator. It's more a day for the statistician and the tacticians.
We talked to the two victors, Victor Diaz de Leon, the skipper and tactician on board the Quantum Racing powered by American Magic, and Victor Mourinho from the Platoon Aviation. So Victor, how are we feeling this last day? It's all under control.
Feeling really good, hoping that there's going to be wind so we can go race. And really excited. The points are tight and we're sailing well. There's a great energy within our team, so really looking forward to it.
What about these last days so far this season and the back end of last season? Can you bury the hoodoo and win in the last day?
I'll tell you after the racing's over, Andy.
So Victor, you guys have got a tiny lead going into the final day. How do you guys feel? What's the strategy?
At the end, it's a part not only of the event, it's a part of the circuit. So the strategy always is to count points for the overall season. That is our goal now. So in reality, what we have to do is to take the best of fast. Yesterday was a tough day for us. The overall get really tight. So what we need to do is do our best race, and the things will come. No, and especially when you have 2 races and only 3 points, you need to do your best races. That's the strategy.
Everybody's blood pressure was quite high yesterday after racing. It's all tranquilo now, is it?
Yeah, you always, after a really bad day that we had yesterday, you always have the emotions, not really high, and temperament, and you can be pissed off with a lot of things. But then when you go to sleep and you relax a little bit, then in the morning you see the things more positive, and then you have the opinions of the coach, you see the videos, you see a lot of things. And what we have to do is to learning about our mistakes. So it's the only way to
So the key mistakes yesterday, red flags.
Yeah, the penalties are not helping for sure, but also we have some other choosing sails or setups or whatever that we expect other conditions, so we were random with these kind of things. But for sure, the red flags, we take so many risks that I think today we will be more in control of that.
So today, no red flags, no red mist.
I hope so, but you never know. With this Thai fleet, everything can happen.
So that's Victor. Who are going to be the victors today? Anyway, let's look back at the action from yesterday, a big 3-race day. Well, who could believe it's already the penultimate day racing here at the Puerto 52 Super Series Sailing Week. We have a decent forecast. Let's go racing. Race number 6, the breeze is at 13-14 knots on the start line. 165 degrees is the wind angle. Off the start line will Paprec make a nice start at the pin end of the line, beating Gladiator to the preferred pin. And the left side comes in strong at the top mark. Is Paprec leading, Gladiator second. Quantum Racing powered by American Magic ticketing third round. Platoon Aviation get a penalty at the top mark and drop back to 12th place down the first run. Through the finish line, it's a win for Paprec, their first of the season. Second, Gladiator. Third, Quantum Racing powered by American Magic, but pulling back 2 places and finishing in 9th. Platoon Aviation still hold the regatta lead. So race 7, the breeze has dropped very slightly. A good start from Sled in the middle of the line. Phoenix and Prevezza go well up the first beat, but Platoon get a penalty and that drops them way down the fleet. At the top market, Sled leading from Phoenix, Prevezza round in third. And through the finish line, it's a very big, comfortable win for Sled. Prevezza through for their second of the event so far. Quantum Racing powered by American Magic at third. Platoon, their second 9th, drops them down to second place overall. And Gladiator lead the regatta. So the third race of the day is fantastically close to the top mark between Prevezza and Alpha Plus overlapped. Allegri round in third, that is the order down the first run. Alpha Plus extend and lead round the leeward gate. Prevezza second, Allegri third, but this race is decided on the final run. Alpha Plus come through to win their first race of the regatta. Allegri through in second, Prevezza in third, Sled fourth, and then it gets really busy. Quantum Racing come in with a late 5th. Platoon gets 6th, but then Criolla come in from the right. They squeeze out Gladiator. Gladiator end up with 10th.
I needed to understand why we have a penalty on the first race, because I really can't believe that the Empire gives to us a penalty. To me, it's quite frustrating because we try to sail as clean as possible.
Yeah, we had a really good day on Quantum Racing. The pressure's always there, and at the end of the day, you gotta perform to come out on top. So we're feeling really good for the last day and had a lot of fun.
Reset, clean our mind, have a good rest, and come back strong tomorrow for the last day.
So going into the final day of Puerto Portal's 52 Super Series Sailing Week, Platoon Aviation lead by 3 points. They're on 35. Gladiator on 38. Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 38. Paprec are on 52, and there's only 6 points between 4th and 10th. So the penultimate day of the regatta, just showing how close it is on the water. Going into the final day, 3-cornered fight between Platoon Aviation, Gladiator and Quantum Racing powered by American Magic. Who's going to win? So welcome then to this Sunday on the Bay of Palma, Puerto Portal's 52 Super Sailing Week. We've had a little bit of a delay waiting for the breeze to come in. It seems like we're still waiting. But Louise, is it looking any better out there?
Andy, finally some wind arrived, so the sky cleared a little bit. The sun could come out slightly. It's still quite a cover here of clouds, very, very high clouds. So, but we have some breeze. I think we have like 5 to 7 knots, still a little bit unstable in the direction. That's why Maria from the race committee still waiting to have more fair racing. She's hoping for a more stable wind direction. At the moment, I think the wind is like coming from the south-southwest. We are sailing here in front of Puerto Portal, very close to the harbor actually. And yeah, I don't really see this cumulus clouds we had the couple of last days over the land, so the cute little white clouds that are speaking for a sea breeze that's usually very typical here in the summer in Palma de Mallorca. So we don't have that at the moment, Andy. We have a little bit of gradient wind, probably mixed with some kind of sea breeze stuff, as there's maybe more heating going on in the land. But I think this is probably the most tricky day of the whole Puerto sailing week we had. So light winds, a lot of uncertainty, what will happen with the forecast. So if I would be racing now, I think I probably wouldn't look too much at the forecast, as it's super difficult to predict how the heating of the land will continue, or if the eastern gradient we're still having will come into play more. It's a lot lighter, the gradient, than what we've seen yesterday, so that's why we also didn't have any wind at all in the beginning of the day. But at the moment I would probably go with what I see and use my eyeballs, because they're probably the most reliable at the moment. And if I look upwind now, I can see a little bit more pressure towards the coast. So in the west of me, there would be the right upwind side. And I think it will be a very, very tricky and tough day. A lot of work for the strategists and tacticians. They need to be so alert to understand any kind of wind changes. I think there's still a lot of holds where there's not so much pressure yet. And for me, the fleet was so tight the entire week, and any boat can win in these kind of conditions, Andy. Super flat water, light winds, puffy, tricky, very tricky day here.
So Louise, obviously you were down on the dockside this morning and talking to some of the teams. For example, Platoon Aviation came ashore with the pretty much blood pressure through the roof on many of the afterguard members. They had a really tough day with these 2 penalties, but things seem to have calmed down a little bit with them. They're quite focused.
Andy, I think I agree with you, and they're all so professional. You know, like, it can happen in the moment that you get emotional, that you're very upset, that you're frustrated. And yeah, they had a very frustrating day yesterday, so Harmelashver was definitely not so happy. But this morning, when I spoke with him, he seemed to be more confident, he seemed to be more happy, and he's believing in his team. They have such a big experience and in performing as well when it matters and under pressure. So we've seen that quite often, that the team was maybe struggling a little bit through the week, but then when it actually matters, they were performing on it. I just remember the World Championship last year in Barcelona, where they secured their World Championship title on the last half of the last downwind in the last race. I think that was incredible, and they absolutely believe in their speed, in their team, a lot of experience on there. But what I've also understood is that they not only look for a win here of this event, they also look for the overall season win, Andy.
Indeed, they're still pushing for that. It's very tight at the top of the circuit standings at the moment, but it's good to know that they're pushing forward still with the confidence. But in terms of this regatta standings, then we see Gladiator and Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, just 3 points behind. So it's really going to be high pressure stuff if and when we get started. What's your interpretation of the situation with the Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic? They've really had a little bit of a kind of last day hoodoo. So many times they've been within touching distance of the regatta title and not quite managed to deliver for various different reasons. Do you feel like this could be their day?
Andy, I think it's so nice to see these 3 teams here in the top, because they are all so different and they follow different goals and they follow also different processes. So when I spoke with some guys of the Quantum Racing, they pretty much told me that they want to stick to the process today. So they don't only want to look at the results, because they explained me they can only control themselves and not the others. And I thought this was a very wise thought, they said, because you can't really control, first of all, the wind, your competitors, and they're all super good here, but they have to believe, obviously, that they are better, and they want to stick to their process. So they've been working over the season now to find nice routines, good processes, and go a little bit back from just being only result focused. And I think that takes, first of all, the pressure out, and also brings the team closer together, as we have this interesting mix of a younger afterguard and a very experienced rest of the crew. And I thought that they grew a lot together as a team. So the feeling I always got from the Quantum Racing this week was that they have a strong team dynamic. They have a more or less happy vibe on that boat, and I think that's super important, especially in a day for today where there's pressure on. We might only sail one race, so it will be all or nothing for that team. And this morning when I went in their container, there was a special meeting between the strategist and the coach. They were checking again the weather map. So the strategist, Nevin, he's one of the younger afterguard members, and they are just so much into it. They want it so much, obviously also all the other teams. But yeah, I think let's see how it goes for them. It will be a very important day for the team, I feel, also for all the others. But as they still develop a little bit their team, I think this can be a good test for the entire group of Quantum Racing. But I also catch up with Gladiator this morning, and I loved what they said. So usually Tony Langley, the owner and tactician on Gladiator, is always telling me about how much he want to stick to the process and how process driven he is, and that he thinks that this is his key of his success, and it's definitely speaking for him. He's the world champion of 2024, so of this year, so great success story so far. But he told me, and other team members as well, that maybe today the process needs to be flexible. I thought that was very nice said. So they want to stick to the process, but the process needs to be flexible today. And it describes very much how I've seen the day so far, with the uncertainty of the weather. Everyone can win in these conditions. And so you have a lot more experience in this class, but for me, these three teams, they are all super strong, and it will probably... What is it about? What do you think for them today to win the event?
Well, I think, like you say, I think the great thing is that either way, from a purely selfish point of view, it's either of these three teams winning would be a great story for various different reasons. But for sure, you'd love to see Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, come away with a win. They've been disappointed on so many occasions. They've been so close many, many times, and it's just been the final 1 or 2% that's been missing. So they certainly deserve the win. Gladiator really have got a real level of consistency, and Platoon Aviation, well, they've had such an up and down rocky season so far in terms of learning their new boat. Also that collision with an underwater object in Newport really hurt them when we just felt they'd started to get some momentum with this new boat. So it would be great to see Platoon Aviation winning here. They won the world title here in 2019. So they're past masters at winning titles. They're 3 times world champions, and they know how to perform under pressure. They've always done that, as you said, rightly so, winning in Barcelona the world title on the last run of the last race. So it's going to be fascinating. I believe we have a warning signal, I believe, at 2:40. So it's going to be tough to get 2 races in, Louise.
Andy, I agree with you. I've understood that the last starting signal is at 3:30, and I would be already super happy to see one race in these conditions, and I think that it will be already a good success for the race committee if they can bring this in fair conditions. If a second race is going to happen, even better. But let's go with one race, and let's go step by step, leg by leg, tech by tech, because this is usually the mindset you need to follow with a lot of uncertainty. And I just thought it was so nice. I met Simon Dobney this morning. He's a very famous sailor from New Zealand, member of the America's Cup Hall of Fame, did the America's Cup for 7 times, and he came down here to cheer Quantum Racing on. He wanted to give them some extra luck and an extra booster. So it's all or in probably for race number 1, and then let's see how it looks for the second race. But at the moment I would focus on this one race and take it in there.
Well, I think we're just going to take a quick look. We spoke with Chris Hosking this morning. Now, Chris from the Gladiator is one of the most experienced sailors, main sheet trimmer and runner trimmer. He's the runner trimmer just now on Gladiator, really one of the key eyes and ears of the boat. But he's also a very accomplished boat builder. He's been building TP52s since way back in 2005-06. I remember him building boats way back then. So he also built or was responsible for the project management for the original Prevezza. So he cast his very experienced eye over the two Prevezzas, the Criolla as it is now, P10 and the new P11. And this is the geek's eye view of the two boats.
Okay, here we are at the back of the two Prevezzas. The old boat now known as Criolla, and the new boat Prevezza here. The boat on the left, the one that we built in 2018 at Persico Marine in Italy, and the boat on the right here was built by King Marine in Spain. The differences between the two boats that I see to my eye looking at them, I think the first thing that you can see if you can focus on the transom profiles, it looks like potentially the new boat has maybe a little bit more heeled rocker, because you can see there's less volume in the corner of the boat here compared to the old boat. And to me the new boat looks a lot more slab-sided, so potentially maybe more heeled hull form stability. So maybe, I think without having spoken to the designer, I would imagine that they've probably motored this boat a little bit higher up the wind range. We know that this boat was always a weapon in 9 to 11, and I'm sure that they've tried to keep the performance of the boat in light air, but improve the heavy air sailing by making those small changes to the hull. I'm sure the appendages must be very similar, because I think the keel and the rudder, because I think that they must have been very happy with the performance of the old boat. So they're the differences that I see in the water. On deck, you can see both boats have kept the same cockpit profile, very square, as opposed to the boating boats where the primary winches are a lot further inboard. And the reason why we do that is because the jib sheet is cross-sheeted. So when you're on starboard tack, the jib sheet is on the starboard primary winch. And the reason why we do that is so that the jib trimmer has a better view of the sail, and also obviously his weight's up to windward and he can be much more active on the jib sheet. So you can see on the side deck on both boats you have the controls for the jib up and down and the jib in and out, and also the jib sheet in your hand. So the jib trimmer is much more active when he's cross-sheeting, and that's the reason why we've pushed, well, on both boats they've obviously kept the same design and pushed the primaries as far outboard as possible. The other thing that I see between the changes in the two boats is they've moved the main sheet traveller track back. Looks like it's come back around 500 mil. I know this because I know this is, I think, 450 or 500 mil forward of the E-band, this main sheet and the traveller bulkhead and everything. Obviously moving it back makes the main sheet load go down, and yeah, I guess that probably opened up the space too for the aft pedestal. You can see with the forward traveller track on the boat on our left, the pedestal and the tiller is all very tight in there, and I think moving the traveller back has enabled them to have a bit more space for that aft grinder and to move them aft a little bit. The other thing I notice is the runner winches on the new boat are further forward, and I'd say that's to get the runner trimmer closer to the trimming speed loop, so that he's closer and in better communication with those guys. So I think that's a good idea. And I know from having sailed the boat on our left that it was always very tight between the mainsail trimmer and the jib and spinnaker trimmer. The main sheet and the primary winches are very close together, so it looks to me like they've moved the main sheet winches aft a little bit and pushed the primary winches forward a little bit, just to give a bit more space, a bit more freedom, so you're not knocking into one another during those critical manoeuvres. Other big thing I note on the new boat is the jib tracks are very, very extremely narrow. You can see if you pan over to our boat on the left here, I think they go from 2.5 degrees maybe out to around 6 degrees, and on the new boat I think they're probably just as far inboard, but they don't go nearly as far outboard. They maybe go out to 4 degrees. It's I'd like to see this boat sailing up range and see how they go and whether or not they think they've got enough range in their jib tracks. It will be interesting to see if they get the chainsaws out in the winter.
Inside, any clues?
Don't know. I'm not invited him on board, so I don't know what's going on downstairs. But I think you can get a pretty good idea of what's going on downstairs when you look at the systems on deck, and it all looks very similar. You can see the blue line just in front of the main sheet pedestal, or the aft pedestal there is the boom vang. They've moved that forward. On the old boat it's behind the main sheet track, on the new boat it's in front. I'm sure that's just for ease of use of that system. All the systems for the mainsail trimmer look the same. The jib trimmer systems look very similar as well. There's a few more controls back by the runner trimmer. I know Colle Parada likes to have the controls for the forestay and the deflector, and he also has this small pump handle system that's underneath the primary winch there, so that he can also pump the rams, the forestay ram or the deflector ram on as the breeze increases, instead of having to go onto the aft pedestal and grind with that system. So they're probably the main differences I see. In terms of the rigs, I can almost guarantee that this rig will be softer sideways than this one. It's quite stiff. And you also see the upper deflector that's just underneath the hounds there. Looks to me like it's lower on this rig. So if you pan up to the top of the rig up there, you can see the deflector that deflects the runner cables. The boat on the left looks to me like it's maybe 150, 200 mil higher than the boat on the right. I think that's just for to make it a little less critical, I think, is probably the reason for lowering the deflector and making it a little bit more forgiving. You can't see the front hatches here, but I've had a look at them before, and it looks like maybe the front hatch is a little bit smaller to try and not let so much water in when you got the hatch open, trying to get the spinnaker down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Without getting invited on board, or without having somebody who was involved in the new build showing you what happened, that's pretty much most that I see to the naked eye. Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Great.
All right, guys, here we go. Last day.
So some high quality geekery there from Chris Hosking, comparing the old P10 Provezza and Provezza 11. But we're going to carry on with a little bit of a delay until the warning signal will be 14:40. So we're going to take a short break. Until then, we'll come back on air at 20 to 3 local time, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll go racing.
Why you look surprised when we've done this all before? I'm not sure the highs really make up for the lows. When words don't work and I get hurt somehow, I feel like I'm the worst. Manipulation overload, but babe, this time I'll steal the show. Please listen close. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. The rhythm that you're playing is just way up. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. The rhythm that you're playing is just way up. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart. Out of sync and out of touch, and maybe even out of love. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. Got me black and blue, making me wanna walk. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. The rhythm that you're playing is just way up. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart.
Single your confusion, great brave woman, laughing to illusion. You're not afraid to die, you know dying is alone. Down or up, you're still alone. Laughing or crying, you roll alone. How do you do it? You know I come from pain. You say I can't complain, it's on me. The past is long gone, and the future's unknown. You are telling me, you tell me. You are telling me, you tell me. He said to be polite, the only way to get what you want, the only way they like you is to stay in line and follow the crowd. But you stand out black as the night. You know they're all lying. You know I come from pain. You say I can't complain, it's on me. The past is long gone, and the future's unknown. You are telling me, you tell me. Climbing to your bright future, even though you're dying. You fell before and you keep on trying. You do it all again, not blinded by beauty. You tell the story as it is, speaking not to be understood. But it's better good. You know I come from pain. Say I can't complain, it's on me. The past is long gone, and the future's unknown. You are telling me, you tell me.
Welcome back to Puerto Portals then, and the good news is that we're going racing. We have a wind angle of 210 to 230 degrees and 8 to 11 knots of breeze on the race course. Louise is looking good, or certainly looking a lot better.
Andy, yes, so the boats are ready and I am so excited. Oh my God. I thought you could already feel the tension this morning in the boat park. I mean, Platoon Aviation, Quantum Racing and Gladiator were just next to each other in the boat park, and I could literally feel this electricity going on there between the boats and in the sailors as well. So everyone was quite tight, quite stressed, and tried to play super cool in front of me. Well, I found out they are not. And to be honest, I don't know if we can make a second race, but if we have only this one race, then it will be a one all in or nothing, Andy. Because then, just imagine Quantum Racing or Gladiator will become last. That means they take 13 points. They can't get worse than a third place. So this is all about this one race now, Andy.
That's right, just about the top three. The podium positions are assured, but it depends who's going to win. And the Platoon Aviation have that 3-point lead, so they need to. They have 3 points in hand. But also that little battle for fourth place between Paprec and Phoenix really kind of solidifies as well, because there's now 5 points between Phoenix and Alpha Plus, and the same with Sled, Prevezza. Battles all the way through. 58 points for Sled, Prevezza, Allegre and Interlodge. So lots and lots of battles, lots to play for as we go into this final race. But we're into the last 2 minutes, just on 2 minutes before the start. Louise, your thoughts on the start line in this first upwind? Say the wind angle is at 210, 230, so we're in a very different quadrant to what we've seen so far.
And yes, so we have the wind a lot more to the west as we had the other days, and we also sail a lot more close to the western coastline, so here in front of Puerto Portals. So what usually is happening, then you then get a right banana. In the past days we've seen a left banana because we were sailing more to the east and so more to the left coast. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a right bend today off the wind, so that the boats who are more to the right can in January point higher to the upward mark. So I think at the moment I would start close to the committee but in space and try to go fast and maybe look for an early tech. But it would be also depending on where I am in the overall general result. I wouldn't be surprised seeing Gladiator, Platoon and Quantum Racing sailing in the same piece of ocean. But as there are 3 boats, they can't just do a match race, so they can't just go one-on-one. They also need to always look out for the third boat. So very interesting strategy, and I will be waiting for seeing how they will do this race, Andy.
It seems the breeze is quite right-handed for the moment. Everybody's starting or trying to start near the committee boat. The key thing for, in particular for the regatta leader, Platoon Aviation, is to find some space to go for something a little bit lower density and start with speed. Gladiator more towards the committee boat this time. Phoenix just pushing their bow through. It's all about having space and time. General recall already, so that gives us time to analyse what's going on there. 3 or 4 boats late, or correspondingly 10 or 11 boats over the line early. But that just gives us an indication to Louise that everybody's so keen to go, and that bias to the committee boat end of the line, really placing a premium on getting across the line early or as quickly as possible at max speed. So quick on
Andy,
board.
can you just repeat one time the question?
No, I was just saying that with a little bit of starboard end bias on the line, everybody started towards the committee boat end of the line, and therefore there was a real premium on getting across the line and into clear air as quickly as possible.
Exactly, Andy. So there was a right shift here at the start, and I think also the boats were just really pushing, very, very motivated. And we have seen a general recall. I think Maria, the race committee officer, will probably now change the line a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing the second start as well a little bit pushy from other boats. They're all so excited. We've been speaking about this tension I felt in the boat park this morning. So yeah, let's see how the starting discipline will go on here for the second start.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to know whether that was a shift or whether the line was just a slight bias on it. But it's going to be that kind of day, Louise, isn't it? The breeze is moving around quite a lot. It's been a long wait to get this race away. And in the meantime, the teams, or some of the teams, just checking out the first beat. So what are they doing, Louise? The boats are carrying on up the beat. We can see in particular Platoon Aviation sailing a few minutes up the beat along with Prevezza just behind and Alpha Plus.
And so yes, we see most of the boats still continuing, even though they need to return very soon to the start. But they want to get an impression for the wind. They want to get a feeling for the wind. They want to understand: does the leeward boat look better? Does the windward boat look better? How's the shift range? So they generally try to read the wind, to understand a little bit the wind better, but there's so much uncertainty at the moment, and I think that's also why so many boats carried on for such a long time now to try to bring some more certainty in it. Oh, good luck, I think, today in these kinds of conditions. For me, Platoon Aviation looked there quite nicely as the windward boat, but it can be again that this right bend comes into play very late in the upwind. So sometimes you get these first impressions from the start that then are not holding until the upwind mark, so until the end. Very difficult for at the moment outside here, Andy. But beautiful sailing conditions. I think still I'm happy to see some wind. We had some forecasts looking a lot worse. So there is some wind, more or less stable, but very tricky, shifty, light, flat water. So the sails, the boats trim their sails super tight on the upwind, and yeah, Andy.
We're just seeing some damage there to
let's see.
Interlodge. Have just called for a little bit of time on have some damage on the front of the boat there, so I think they're getting 5 minutes. Trying to see exactly what the damage is. Certainly looks like the bobstay has gone on the bowsprit, and Chris Matthews there, the project manager, out on the bowsprit, trying to see whether, I think possibly trying to see if there's any damage to it, but just checking whether there's any structural cracks with somebody holding on to him. But obviously touched one of the other boats. So another further delay. Sorry, just hearing from the sorry, just trying to hear what our race officer Maria Torrijos was saying. 15:15. Yeah, next warning signal 1515, so 15:15. We're going to go off air until then. Join us again in a few minutes when hopefully we'll get a race underway.
Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Standing right in front of me, you used to be someone to me. You took all of my energy and had some infidelities. The real estate inside my head you took is never coming back, but you said that it wasn't personal. And every time you lied to me, it's like I didn't want to see, cause I thought you were beautiful, and beauty doesn't want to be mischievous and devious and set a fire unto us, but you were never beautiful at all. I wasn't fine to begin with, walked out those lines to begin with, but you forced me to work on myself because you put me through hell. I guess I should thank you for that. I'm okay, but it was a real close call. It went from a walk to a crawl. Had to tear down the Berlin Wall. I was panicking, but hey, I guess that I survived you. And that shit was hard to do. I've had every shade of blues since I met you. I think that I'm over it, but then I see you out again, laughing with the group of friends. There he is, you're holding hands, makes me feel pathetic and a little bit erratic. So I drink till I can't stand. And you know I won't confront you, even though it's all I wanna do. Probably best to just ignore it, both impossible and true. I wasn't fine to begin with, walked all those lines to begin with, but you forced me to work on myself because you put me through hell. Thank you for that. I'm okay, but it was a real close call. It went from a walk to a crawl. Had to tear down the Berlin Wall. I was panicking, but hey, I guess that I survived you. And that shit was hard to do. I've had every shade of blues since I met you. She loves me not. The petals hit the floor. times are getting crazy, and everything seems hazy. Is there some place for safety I can go? Run away, run away, run away into your escape. Run away, run away, run away, you're never too far to run. Run away, run away, run away into your escape. Run away, run away, run away. Run away, run away, run away. It gets so loud that I can barely hear. But your words speak much louder than all my fears. Sometimes I just wanna disappear, running until I can feel you near. I need a new purpose, I'm looking for so much more. Don't leave me here searching, you're just what I'm longing for. When times are getting crazy and everything seems hazy, is there some place for safety I could go? Run away, run away, run away into your escape. Run away, run away, run away, you're never too far to run. Run away, run away, run away into your escape. Run away, run away, run away. Run away, run away, run away.
Well, welcome back. We have a warning signal due at 15:15, and we're inside the warning signal by looking at the our Rolex clock. And the good news is we have breeze. I think the Interlodge sorted out their problem, as far as we know, but Interlodge actually hit the committee boat on the approach. Such was the bias in the line caused by that right-hand shift. Anyway, Louise, how are things looking from your perspective? The line is a little squarer, perhaps?
Andy, so I'm here at the pennant, and from my perspective, the line looks more square, actually probably even a little bit pin favored. But the wind shifted a bit more to the right. I think we have a bearing of 225 wind direction now. And who already sailed here in Palma Bay towards the west coast knows that there is a little bit of a right bend when you sail upwind. So I think there's still a lot of boats that want to start at the right side and want to win that right side. So they now are already following each other and try to position themselves in the line, and then they would choose their moment to tack according to where they want to start. Wow, I think this will be the race, Andy. I'm so excited to watch this. It will be full entertainment. We'll probably fight for the right side. The other days we've seen the fight for the left side. Now it's the fight for the right side. So all in or nothing. So exciting.
So exciting. Just waiting to see how the teams set up in terms of risk. Obviously the top three is Platoon Aviation, which have these 3 points in hand. So their principal objective is just to make sure that the other two boats are behind them. They can afford to take a little bit less risk, whereas correspondingly Gladiator and indeed Quantum Racing Powered by American Magic need boats between them and Platoon Aviation. So the advantage is with the German team, winners of the world title here in 2019, and of course winners of the 2023 circuit title here in September last year. So relatively light conditions. We probably only have 8 or 9 knots of breeze. A minute and a half to go. We have Alpha Plus and Criolla down the left side of the group. Top end of the line we have Paprec. Gladiator setting up furthest to the right of the group for the moment. Allegra's up there too. Vayu, Platoon. Platoon have Phoenix underneath them, Quantum Racing Powered by American Magic. And it's all about time and distance. We have less than a minute to go. Teasing Machine with nice space up there in the middle of the line. Criolla just taking a tack up to Windward will tack again underneath Teasing Machine. Allegra seem to have a nice position, so too Provezza. Just above Provezza is Phoenix and Vayu. Platoon holding up the two boats to weather off them. In particular, Gladiator are well to windward. You can see the top of the lineup coming in at 20 seconds to go. Gladiator trying to get that position on the committee boat end of the line. Allegra closing the door as much as possible. Gladiator in a little bit of problems in terms of timing. We have 5 seconds to go. Alpha Plus. So Alpha Plus getting the individual recall, just jumping the gun too early. Nice start from Sled by the looks of things. So too Teasing Machine. Teasing Machine with space to build speed into. Otherwise then now Maria just saying the line is clear. Gladiator first boat to tack off to the right. Boats seem to be quite bow down, coming off the line perhaps. Platoon to windward of Quantum Racing Powered by American Magic. Vayu, Paprec, Interlodge have tacked, and Gladiator come into the boat end of the line late and tacked off on board with the world champions. Clearly, Louise, they have a strategy, listening to your advice, going out to the right. And it just reminds me of our first regatta here in April, May in this breeze, and Gladiator did just that. And I think, in fact, the very first race of the season, they won from this very similar position.
Absolutely, Andy, and I think, yeah, as I've said, we've seen after the start the boats who started more towards the left were on the tracking in the ranking quite in front. That was because of the buyers at the pin end, so the left side was favored. But as we spoke before, I think the right upwind side will be better, and this would be also the side I would have been sailing to. So Gladiator likes to push a little bit more the whisk, and they went for the committee start. Wasn't favored, but they were at least the first boat on the favored upwind side, so that will maybe pay off. We see them now in third position on the tracking. That's a good result for them if they can keep this. And now we see most of the boat tacked onto port, going to this right side. now also Platoon Aviation tacked to port, and they look really nice here. I'm just leeward of the new Brazilian team Criolla, so here on the left side, but I can see now most of the teams on port tack sailing towards that right side, and I think the actual advantage of on that right side will come into play quite late again once the boat tacked back onto starboard. So for now we need to be patient to actually see the wheel gain, but Gladiator look quite much in front already. We know they're fast, and this is exactly what you want if it's such a one-way track. You want to go fast to the right side, Andy.
You do, and Gladiator started, say, just a couple of seconds late at the committee boat at the end of the line. Interesting to watch the situation with Platoon Aviation and Quantum. Platoon were to windward of Quantum, and Quantum tacked, Platoon covered, and Quantum responded and are going back to the left. Couldn't live in the dirty air of Platoon Aviation, so they have cleared their lines, got themselves up to weather, and for the meantime Quantum in 9th, Platoon in 6th, and Gladiator leading, so the advantage would move to Gladiator. Now remember that Gladiator need 3 boats between them and Platoon to finish clear ahead on the final standings. Allegra up there nicely, so too Teasing Machine. Teasing Machine had a nice start in the middle of the line, could build speed. They've got themselves into quite a nice position. Now then, looking at, to me, looking at Gladiator in that shot, I think perhaps very slightly less wind pressure on that right side of the course. Watching all the time how Quantum are doing relative to Platoon. These are such tense and exciting times as this deciding race starts to play out. Certainly Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, look to be nicely powered up just now. Sailing quite high and quite fast relative to the boats to leeward. Just converging just now with Alpha Plus. Alpha Plus on starboard, but about a boat length behind. Converging courses between Phoenix and Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic. At the moment they're very, very close. Interesting to see what Quantum does. Quantum, I think, probably want to stay with Platoon in particular. They will go behind Phoenix. So Louise, the breeze seems fairly even across the fleet. Closer, I think, between...
Andy, so the sky is quite grey.
Go on, Louise.
And so that's why it's also more difficult on the water to understand whether there's more pressure or not, because the differences of the colors are difficult to see. So usually when there's coming breeze or where there's more wind somewhere, it's a little bit more dark than in other places, but at the moment it looks everything a little bit grey and glittery, so hard to say where there's actually more breeze. In theory there should be more breeze towards the shore, but well, we know that the wind is not always how this theory is telling us, Andy.
Indeed, just watching Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, and Phoenix, and in the end Quantum set up to duck. Phoenix tacked to leeward, and they're trying to apply a lee bow but not quite managing. For the meantime, Quantum living in that lane, but overall Quantum quite deep in this race in 9th, Platoon 7th, and Gladiator with a clear advantage out on that right side, led off the start line. Allegra now in second. Sled made such a good start. So for sure this will be the deciding race. Start time limit every regatta is 3:30 for the last warning signal. So this is our one and only race, the big decider. The advantage at the moment is with Gladiator. Confirmed there, 31 versus 42 versus 43. Sorry, beg your pardon, 39. 39, 41, 43. So two places, 2 points in it. Platoon Aviation need a couple of boats from their position. Certainly looking at Teasing Machine going across there. Seemed to be a little bit higher, maybe a little lefty coming through. But Gladiator leading the charge on that right side. Platoon in 7th, Quantum down in 11th. So relatively short upwind in this light breeze. So Criolla going across on port just now. Quantum further out to this left, just bounced out by Platoon earlier on. So no mistaking who's leading this this race. It's Gladiator, the world champions, dominating for the moment. Platoon in 6th. So Platoon at the moment held by Teasing Machine to windward. Chris Hosking there monitoring the situation to leeward. He'll be giving feedback all the time to KJ Parada on the helm. And the escort, the main trimmer. You can see Teasing Machine, the other Gladiator, to leeward and going quite nicely. So close now. Seems like Platoon have managed to make a small gain, but could be just what's happening is the boats to weather and behind are getting tied up in traffic, as it were, constantly trying to clear their lines to stay in clear air. And so stepping out to the right, we can see that with the sled. So Louise seeing a small gain to Platoon possibly. The Platoon's problem is coming back from that position they're in, trying to get back into the starboard ley line. But for sure looking a little bit better for the moment.
And yes, so far I like the position of Platoon, but unfortunately we are not at the upwind mark yet. So what is usually happening, and I'm now just crossing the fleet in front, is that the boats who are more windward, so more towards the right side, can put their bow higher in direction of the upwind mark than the boats below them, and we get this effect now quite strong. So yeah, Platoon Aviation has a free lane, but Gladiator is actually sailing in more pressure with a better shift even. So the righter you are on that right side, the better it is. But you also want to sail in a free lane, so you don't want to get the bad wind of the other boat. That's not good in sailing, that's only good in cycling. In sailing we need the full wind for ourselves to go as fast as we can. But it's also now about the full positioning for the upwind mark, Andy. We've seen a lot of chaos there the other days, a lot of penalties, a lot of boats to lose, but also to win. Depends on if you're the lucky one or not. So I would be very happy now sailing on the right side and not so happy sailing leeward or coming from the left, Andy.
Indeed, but that's going to be a difficult one, as you say, for Platoon Aviation. Can't afford to get penalties at this stage, having got themselves into contention. But you can see as the boats approach that some of the boats furthest to the right are actually above ley line. Gladiator pretty much bang on. Now, will that play out for Platoon? Platoon coming in from the right of our picture. Remember, all Platoon need is to be close to Gladiator. Quantum not so good in 10th on board, and with the Platoon Aviation just going round the stern of Teasing Machine, who I think are probably leaders for the moment. So looking good now for Platoon Aviation. Going to slot in just on the stern of Gladiator, or chasing the stern of Gladiator. So the balance changes in terms of the overall. And Teasing Machine then leading around the top mark. First time up on the last race. French team making their first appearance in the 52 Super Series, leading around the top mark. Leading Gladiator round in second. Next round is Platoon Aviation, the regatta leaders, who at the moment will be 2 points clear at the top of the table, and now they just need to stay out of trouble and stay in the same piece of water as a Gladiator, who are directly in front of them. So fourth round Interlodge, fifth Allegra, sixth is Criolla, seventh Sled, eighth Vayu, ninth Paprec, 10th Provezza, 11th Phoenix, 12th Alpha Plus, and unfortunately 13th is none other than Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic. So there we go, Gladiator Jibe, and are matched by Platoon Aviation. So how do you interpret this, Louise? Are we having a little match race between these two, or do you think they see something?
Andy, yes, so I will actually really expect a match race between both of them. I think these two teams, they have so much the same level, and they're not only fighting for the win here in Puerto, but also for the overall season win. So Platoon will make sure that they stay close to Gladiator, or maybe can even take Gladiator, and Gladiator will do everything to avoid that. But in general, I also think a part of that, it's a match race probably between these two boats now. The right side was just a lot better on the upwind, and it will be as well on the downwind, so a jibe makes sense. And I see some teams continuing, but a lot of teams actually jibing earlier than we have seen in the other days, and that makes a lot of sense. There's more pressure on the right side, there's a better shift. So yeah, also now the leading team, Teasing Machine, is actually rolling into their jibe. But let's see, there are not a lot of options when it's such a one-way track, Andy. To overtake other boats, you need to make this very, very smart by positioning and better speed. And I think Gladiator and Platoon Aviation more or less have the same speed, and they're also the same good. So it will be so interesting to see if something can still happen between these two boats or not.
Indeed, and as we said before, great rivalry and friendship between the two sailors. Gigi Parada and Vasco Voscotto sailed for so many years together on the Azura programs, now rivals on different boats, challenging for this Puerto Portals 52 Super Series Regatta Week title. And this is a time for Platoon to just keep super tranquilo, just stay focused on their boat speed, focus on themselves, and just to shadow Gladiator down this run. Teasing Machine have that lead of about 100 meters. Breeze holding in okay, Louise, is it?
Yeah, breeze is looking good, and a little bit unstable, quite tricky. There are some parts here on the racetrack with less breeze than other parts, and I'm not so sure if the tracking is actually really showing the situation. I see here on the water, I'm just leeward of Teasing Machine, and they seem to have less pressure than Gladiator and Platoon, more towards the right side if you look upwind. So at the moment I still see them in front on the tracking, but I'm not sure if this is actually also in reality when we see them at the downwind gate, as there's a little bit less pressure here, unfortunately. But I mean, well done for Teasing Machine. I've understood that they are just learning the boat, so they used the boat 4 days before this event, and now they're in the mix and in front in the leading group. I think this is incredible. Well done to you. And for me, it's just about now, in these kind of conditions, every boat can win this race, as it's so tricky and light, and all the boats are so good, Andy.
Indeed, but it would be a nice way to finish their first regatta, to conclude with a win. But that delta between Teasing Machine and Gladiator dropping all the time, it's been halved. As you said, Louise, a little bit more wind on that left side looking downwind, and a little bit of a header for them. So there's really not much a Gladiator can do under these circumstances. They can just do their own thing. They can't afford to risk anything. They're only, I think I looked before the race start, they're only 3 points ahead of Quantum Racing powered by American Magic, or they were only 3 points ahead of Quantum Racing powered by American Magic going into this race for the circuit standings. But the American team increasing that deficit at the moment by another 11 points. So the two teams, Gladiator and Platoon Aviation, jibing in perfect stereo. coming towards the Lower Gate. Armillash Prier on the helm of the Platoon Aviation. Teasing Machine converging with Gladiator. And I think we'll jibe in front of them or there or thereabouts. So Platoon Aviation then trying to just get enough speed to get down inside Gladiator. So what's Platoon Aviation's strategy from here, Louise, coming into this Lower Gate? What are they trying to achieve?
Andy, it's quite difficult, to be honest, quite tricky here. Now, as we just had this last third of the downwind, there was actually breeze coming down here, if I look upwind, on the left side, so on the side of Teasing Machine. I first said they don't look so good, but then they got this nice breeze filling in for them that actually made them accelerating and going faster. Also Criolla behind them. And Platoon is now trying to attack a little bit, so they jibed. Gladiator is still continuing, so I think they want to make a split now. They want to look if they can actually maybe take the other mark than Gladiator, because this is what the boats are thinking about now. They already think about the downwind gate approach, and if I would be Platoon, they actually just need to stay close to Gladiator to be in front, but I wouldn't be surprised if they want to overtake Gladiator.
No, it's interesting. Certainly that's a little bit of an attacking move, getting outside them. On board.
So I see the boats in general pointing down in different angles, Andy. So I think the breeze just got a little bit more unstable even. So Teasing Machine at the moment is able to put the bow down a lot. So they have maybe more pressure or a better shift. And the other boats need to point a little bit higher. The race crews definitely got a little bit more tricky, makes it a lot more difficult, Andy. So now this is the chance for the team, so more in the back, to push forward and to make some places good, maybe.
Indeed, just looking at that jive for Platoon Aviation going out to the left, I'm just mystified a little bit. As we were just saying, what they had to do was just focus on following Gladiator, sticking with them, take a big jibe out to the left side. So clearly Vascotto and Jordi Calafat see something out there, or as you said, want to get into the right-hand mark looking upwind. But looks like they've had less pressure. What do you think, Louise?
Andy, I agree with you, but the pressure is also very local at the moment. So it can be that you get the pressure, but let's say 10 boat lengths more up to you, or only 5, there's different pressure. Hard to predict at the moment. You really need to go with what you see and what you have, because it might be so different in another spot just close to you. So quite tricky racing here, but in general I think Platoon lost with their little attack they tried there. You're so right, they maybe should have just stayed close and banked again there and wait until Gladiator does a mistake. Yeah, so now they have the boat in between them, probably Criolla, but let's see how they will manage themselves now getting into this downwind gate here. It looks a little bit full, that gate, Andy.
It does look a little bit full. It's going to be whether or not Platoon can get in here and get mark room. And it's looking to me as if they've lost Criolla for the moment, but it's going to be close. And Platoon having to drop and get round, keeping Criolla wide. So in the end, No big loss in terms of places for the moment, but they've lost some distance to Gladiator. Interlodge going all around the left-hand mark. Allegra in 6th. Phoenix. Sorry, Sled 7th. Phoenix 8th. The Value 9th. Quantum get themselves up to 11th from 13th, so a couple of place gains coming down that run. Looks to be a little bit more pressure out on that left side. The breeze pulsing in, perhaps looking where Interlodge are just now. So these are pretty tense moment for the platoon aviation team. The key will be whether they can pull back on Interlodge. Interlodge came round the left-hand mark looking upwind and have gone out to the left. Seem to be quite nicely powered up. Chasing Teasing Machine. What's your thoughts, Louise?
Andy, there's going to be a more difficult upwind. This is what I think so far, because we have this pressure that's just coming in and out from different parts here. At the moment, I'm just leeward of Alpha Plus going up here on the left side. The left side looks a little bit windier, so there's some wind coming in here. But we have seen from the upwind before that the white side paid off quite late. So definitely more tricky. Something changed a little bit, I have the feeling. It also looks a little bit more shifty. In general, I got the impression that it's a lot more left shifted at the moment. So hard to say so far, but this is the opportunity for the boats who are on the back to move places forward. But Teasing Machine and Gladiator, from my perspective, look that they have a quite comfortable lead. Teasing Machine even more than Gladiator, and Teasing Machine is now pointing very high to the upwind mark, in more pressure than the boats below him.
It is. It's super exciting, super tense. The big question is we're always watching platoon aviation to see whether that right comes back for them. They have tacked, and we should see them lift on that tack out there where they are now. For the moment, the tracker has them in 6th, Gladiator in 2nd. So can the 2023 52 Super Series champions come back at Gladiator? Gladiator further out to the right and in good breeze. Quantum Racing, Power Bear making magic in 11th just now, over 400 metres behind the leader. So still not able to come out on top on the final day. So for the meantime, Sled seemed to have made a nice gain on the left going upwind. Ado Stead and Murray Jones were reading that one right for the meantime, just watching Gladiator tacking in front of them and way out to windward of them. So that's the points standings at the moment. It would be Platoon and Gladiator tied on equal points, I think. So no slippage for Platoon for the meantime. They would go on count back. Quantum Racing would be third. But meantime, all credit to the teasing machine team. They've led around every mark so far after that good start, getting out to the middle right. Just came up with a little bit more pressure than Gladiator. Just watching as Platoon Aviation tack in front of Phoenix. Phoenix will respond, I think, just setting up to tack. So the big question now is whether Platoon gain by being to the right of Interlodge and Sled. Meantime, Platoon calling Interlodge across, I think. Happy with their position for the meantime. I think feeling like they have a good lane of breeze. They now have Interlodge and Criolla to windward of them. What's your thoughts on Platoon's position now? Seem to be more in the middle or left of the course. Quick on board with Papek, who are presently 12th.
And so my thoughts on Platoon at the moment are that they really need to catch another boat, and they have Sled and Interlodge around them, so one of these boats they need to beat. And if I could choose on what side I want to be from these boats, I would like to be on the right side, as I now see in general again coming more pressure in at that right corner and also more breeze. So in sailing we always also try to think about where we want to position ourselves in comparison to our competitors, and if I would be Platoon, I would like to be more to the right of my competitors close around me. They also went into attack now, they sail again to the right side, but I think the boats more towards the right side made already some bigger gains there. So let's see if Platoon can still catch them. I'm now going very fast to the upward mark. Andy, I see you there later.
Indeed, so thanks Louise for the meantime. Louise just saying that Platoon have ended up with two boats to their right now. They need to try and make some gains. They've lost Criolla, Sled and Interlodge. Interlodge just crossed in front of them. So they're still ahead of Phoenix, but that's Interlodge just crossing ahead of them and setting up to tack, chasing Criolla in. So approaching the top mark for the final time. So Gladiator well clear of Criolla team and Interlodge. Teasing machine sailing a nice race now, just getting up to the starboard tack-lay line, taking early ownership of it, and they're well clear, about 50 metres clear of Gladiator. It's going to be fascinating to see this final mark rounding. So now Gladiator in second, Platoon in fifth or sixth. It's all about whether they can get round and down the second run ahead of a sled in particular. Yeah, the key really is Sled and Alpha Plus coming in from the high left-hand side. Not seeing them in our picture just now, but I think Platoon Aviation will be very close with them just now. I would say Sled is probably slightly closer to the mark. So Gladiator approaching just at that little protector mark, chasing the previous Gladiator, now Teasing Machine, who've led at every mark so far. So Teasing Machine round the top mark, heading for home. So they're in 13th place overall at the moment, but it would be nice to finish on something of a high note. Gladiator round in second. Criolla team done well in this race, getting up to third. They were 6th at the top mark first time up. So the key differential is between Gladiator and Platoon Aviation at the moment. 2 boats. Question is whether Sled come in from the right of our picture before Platoon Aviation get round that top mark. Now looking better all the time, Platoon with starboard tack advantage. 4th round will be Interlodge. Platoon then round in 5th. As soon as we head downwind, we'll give you the projected points table, but for the moment it should just be Platoon. So round in 6th place is Hasso and Tina Plattner's Phoenix team. Winners here at the end of last season and the season before they won here. So that left side not working out so well for Sled in the end. Overhead at the offset mark, looking at Platoon Aviation and Phoenix. Phoenix going for the early jibe. Quantum have got themselves up to 8th. So limiting the damage. Sled in the end coming round 9th, so losing out significantly coming in from the left side to the top mark. Bayou 10th, Patrick 11th. Alpha Plus in 12th, and 13th Preveza. So on board with the Gladiator then down this final run. Looks quite light. Tony Langley just surveying the horizon, just saying what he likes. And let's have a look at the points table and see how things are lying now. But it's super close, a real nail-biting finish as we've come to expect and gotten a little bit used to. High adrenaline, high tension final day. But it would be Platoon Aviation at the moment would be the winners from Gladiator and Quantum Racing powered by American Magic. So on tie break, it would be Gladiator who would win, I understand, when they get second place. If they get second or first, they would that would be their tie break with Platoon, unless of course Platoon can take a place coming down this run. They have 100 meters or so to catch up with Interlodge. The book. So just looking at the points, if Gladiator gets second, then that would be the tie break, because at the moment Platoon have 2 firsts, a second and a third. Gladiator have 2 firsts, a second and a third, but would beat Platoon in the last race, who would get a second compared to Platoon's whatever they get. So that would be the tie break, would go in favour of Gladiator at the moment. That's all very much dependent on whether Platoon can't take a place coming down this final run. And we've seen them do that before. So what are Platoon's options coming down this run, Louise?
Andy, I watched Platoon rounding that offset mark, and oh wow, they looked quite nervous, to be honest. Jordi Calafat, the strategist, all the time looking back, trying to understand how the boat behind them sets up, because they can understand before the offset mark if the boat will do a jibe set or a normal set. So he was all the time looking to then make their decision and planning ahead if they can continue or if they will have a boat in the back disturbing them. So I think Platoon Aviation, they seem to be quite cool now when I can see them there. Vasco sitting leeward, trying to control the situation, but I would be nervous on that boat at the moment. They still need to catch one other boat, and ooh. This is not a nice position. I mean, we've had it the downwind before that the boats who continued a bit longer first didn't look so good, and then in the end started to look better. It's the same now, so at the moment the boats who jibed early looked a bit better than the other boats who carried on longer, like Platoon, but this might change as they come in the finish. But what's for sure is that the boat who jibed early will then come back on starboard, so they're right of way, and Platoon will be on port, so they need to then make a decision. They need to avoid the other boats if there will be any crosses, and we want them to have a cross because this is their chance then to overtake another boat. For Gladiator, they seem pretty cool out there, making their thing, nice, sailing fast, sailing their own mode. They don't have a lot of options now anymore. They will probably jibe on the finish to the ley line, on starboard, sailing fast. And who knows if they can still catch the teasing machine or not. But yeah, a little bit more nervous there for Platoon Aviation. They need to try now to sail as fast as they can to get closer to the boats in front of them, Andy.
Indeed, Gladiator just to the left there of Teasing Machine. Teasing Machine have sailed an immaculate race, Criolla team. So in fact, interesting to see the two debutant teams at this regatta, Teasing Machine and Criolla, in first and third in this race. Gladiator, the sandwich between, or the filling between the two boats in this little debutant sandwich. Interlodge up in fourth and Platoon Aviation in fifth. Just looking at the boat speeds just now, and Interlodge 9.5 knots, Platoon Aviation 8.9. It's all about whether Platoon can find any kind of header, any kind of shift that would take them down towards the line earlier. Certainly there's a little bit of divergence between them. They have about over 100 meters to gain on Interlodge. Certainly Teasing Machine going quite well. So actually Gladiator looked like they've pulled into Teasing Machine very, very slightly. The boat's on that left side of Platoon now, starting to jibe for the ley line for the finish. Teasing Machine jibe. Now then, these are the key moments for Platoon. But for me, they seem to have lost Phoenix as well. Phoenix, I think, will cross in front of Platoon. Hard to say for the moment. Super close. The advantage changing all the time between Phoenix and Platoon, but for the moment looking good for a Gladiator. We'll soon see. Tony Langley was looking back up the course, just keeping an eye on their main rival Platoon, who seemed to have lost to Phoenix, so that would be a clear win for Gladiator. Not count back wouldn't come into it. Vasco realises that this is going the way of his good friend and rival KJ Parada and the Gladiator team. On board briefly with Phoenix. Platoon ahead of Phoenix for the moment. Looking at the lineup coming in through the finish line, I think, with their overhead drone shot. So for sure, if the two boats are tied on points, the second place would be the key tie break for Gladiator. So through the finish line, it's looking good for Gladiator for the moment, heading for 2 regatta wins in a row, adding the Puerto title to the World Championship. But all credit in the meantime to a teasing machine to Eric de Turkheim and his French team. First regatta on the 52 Super Series, finishing off with a win on the old Gladiator, beating the new Gladiator, but there's no mistaking. For the moment, we'll see Gladiator going through the finish line. Pretty sure they will have done their sums just now. We can certainly see Interlodge ahead of Platoon Aviation, so Gladiator come through now. Yeah, big hugs. So Gladiator go 2 in a row, coming from behind to win this regatta, the penultimate regatta of the season. Held their nerve, did their thing off the start line. Platoon Aviation let them off the hook, I would say. Chose not to stay with them as Interlodge come through. Criolla 3rd, Interlodge 4th. So Platoon were 3rd behind Gladiator at that top mark, and at that point they had the regatta title in the bag. So celebrations on board the Gladiator. There's Bruno Zarilli, the navigator we spoke to this morning. He was so composed. Knew they had some confidence. Stir Fry, Simon Fry. Really, as they say, they're super process driven this season. That includes everything. Really making sure there's no stone unturned. Stir Fry just explaining to us that even their hydration is measured and there's a league table. Credit also to the shore team for the Gladiator team, led by Frank and fearless Fergal Findlay. It's a big disappointment though for Platoon Aviation, but moving in the right direction. You know, you have to give credit to them to a great extent, but their loss is largely self-inflicted. You'd have to reflect. 2 penalties yesterday in consecutive races, and pushing the risk, challenging to try and beat Gladiator. Boats still finishing then. Platoon get 5th, Phoenix get 6th, Allegra 7th. 7th, Quantum Racing powered by American Magic, so they will be 3rd overall. Big congratulations to the shore team as they come on board, just to share the moments with their sailing team. The Gladiator flag will go up.
Finishing order of race number 9. First, fishing machine. Second, Gladiator. Third, Criolla.
It's the Puerto Portal's flag, I think, although they are deciding to put it upside down for some obscure reason. It's not only the Puerto flag upside down, it's supposed to be the Gladiator flag. So that's if that's their one and only mistake today, or this regatta, I'm quite sure they'll take that. And Jeff Povey there, the legendary Nottingham's top grinder, flying the ensign for King and Country. He's very happy as our Jeff. So there we go, got the Puerto Portal's flag up the right way. Great stuff. We're going to do the photo call, I think. So Louise, a few words on the Gladiator win. Well deserved. They kept their nerve. They knew what the strategy was today. They came off the committee boat, end of the line, went right. And that was the key, wasn't it?
Andy, yes, I love the race of Gladiator. I mean, they are the world champions. They're sailing with so much confidence, and they're just going for what they want to do. And this is incredible of that team. Tony Langley as the owner and the main tactician is deciding to start at the right side. The team is executing this perfectly, and then they go for it. And I think this was the well-deserved move for them now to also win this event. You know, they're so happy. I haven't seen them so happy in Newport, so I'm now even more happy for them that they can be happy with their win here. They deserve it so much. They're such a good team. And yeah, congratulations here to Gladiator and Tony Langley. Super well sailed. Nice, I love it.
Indeed. How do you reflect on the situation with the platoon aviation? They came round that top mark in third place behind Gladiator first time up, and then they came down and let Gladiator off the hook a little bit, didn't they?
Andy, you're right. I mean, on such a competitive fleet with 13 boats, if you do a tiny mistake, you need to pay so hard for it. And I think this is unfortunately what happened. They just went for one more jibe and had to pay for it. But well done for the TP52 Super Series, 13 boats, and then we can have this entertainment, exciting racing. This is incredible.
It is incredible. Just looking at Guille Parada, you'd have to say the architect of the success of the Gladiator team. He came on board the first regatta last season and won the circuit title 4 times with Zura. He knows every single detail of the TP52, what makes a winning team. And I remember speaking to him before and just saying he learned so much from losing to Quantum Racing many times. And that's where I think they learned the level of discipline, the level of drive, the level of commitment. And a great story with Guille is he lost 1 year to Quantum, and he had the second place trophy, which he kept beside his bed all the way through the off-season, through the winter, to motivate them. They reset with the Azura program and came back and won the following year. But they're a super disciplined team in the image, you'd have to say, to a great extent, off Quantum. And Tony's having a great time. Exceeded the helm, obviously, to Guille in the pursuit of winning regattas and challenging for the 52 Super Series title this season. Hopefully in a few minutes we should be able to look at the circuit standings, but I know that when they came into this race they were 3 points clear at the top of the table. So that's the standings for this regatta, the Puerto Portal 52 Super Series Sailing Week final standings. Gladiator on 40 points, Platoon Aviation on 40, Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 45, Phoenix on 58, getting 4th in the end. Interlodge getting 5th on 62. 63 for Paprec. You have to feel a little bit sorry for them, finishing 12, 11, 11. They were going so well in the early part of the regatta in 3rd. Allegra then ending up 7th. Sled on 67 in 8th. Alpha Plus finishing 112, ending up in 9th. 10th Criolla, strong finish in a lot of respects with a 483. Certainly going to be contenders for the future. Perhaps in Valencia. Preveza a little bit up and down with some signs of great promise with 2 seconds and a 3rd. Just learning the boat, their first regatta with the new Preveza 11, finishing 11th. And Vayu finishing 12th. And Teasing Machine finishing on a high note. But it's a tough school, is the 52 Super Series. They're here to learn, and they've done a good job. So there we go, a quick look at the circuit standings after 4 regattas of 5. Gladiator leading on 152 points. They're now 8 points ahead of Quantum Racing Power by American Magic. There's 20 points between Quantum and Platoon Aviation. They have 8 points in hand over Sled. Sled are on 188, Allegra 198, 216 to Interlodge, 225 for Paprec, 228 for Alpha Plus, 229 for Vayu, 246 for Phoenix, Preveza 294, 345 for Criolla, and 363 for Teasing Machine. So what a fantastic regatta. We're going to have a great finale in Valencia next month, or later on this month, I beg your pardon. Can Gladiator close out the 2024 title? It's going to be thrilling. Do join us then. Thank you so much for watching all the way through this regatta. It's been a great regatta, and thanks of course to Louise Vancer for all her insights on the water. We'll see you in Valencia.
You forced me to work on myself because you put me through hell.
Thank you for that.
I'm okay.